Hello Scorpio and welcome to my channel Green Line Goddess Tarot. This is your reading for August. So big month August, in fact. We start with the full moon in Aquarius and we end with the full moon in Pisces, your fellow water sign. So it's kind of topped and tailed with full moons, which makes it a much more intuitive month. And so working with that beautiful moon energy. And we have for your card, we have the Magician. Now, the reason, what I want to say is when I was tuning into your energy, I get this sense that you're going to be, potentially could be angry with somebody. I just get this anger that was like somebody's really pissed you off here, and it's hard to let that go for whatever reason. It's like you're focusing on it or ruminating on it. So it's interesting that the Magician's come out because this is the card of becoming consciously aware of what's going on here, willpower creation. It's almost like, how did this happen? How did I find myself in this situation that I've attracted this towards me, that this person's really annoyed me and pissed me off? And so, but then it's also this with the Magician energy, it's like, what am I going to do about it? How am I going to work through this? So it really feels like you're working through a problem person in your life or a problem situation. So this, I just feel like this real Mars and Scorpio type like passion inside your belly of like, ooh, okay, this is really not been they haven't done the right thing. So let's see what's shifting and changing for you, Scorpio. And so August is Leo season moving into Virgo season. And by the end of the month, we have Mercury going into retrograde pretty much straight away when we turn into Virgo season, and Uranus turns retrograde at the end of August as well. So there's a lot of retrograde energy, or most of the planets are retrograde. If I can say the words, hard to say a lot. And that's more of an internal energy of working something through. So it's kind of like, yeah, I'm feeling like this very internally, almost like a brooding. So what's shifting and changing? Pentacle, Queen, Capricorn, Throne. So I think really what you're wanting to do is bring in some kind of stability and something that is tangible, something you're going to see, something you can nurture within yourself, but something like whether it's your living situation changing or your work situation changing, it's like I want to bring in something that brings in stability. It could even be your health. So yes, the Pentacle Queen, there's a situation in your life that you're like, right, I need to stabilize this in some way. So let's see what else is coming through for you. So Scorpio, I just wanted to let you know that this reading is for Scorpio Sun, Moon and Rising, and even if your Venus is in Scorpio, and always recommend to watch all of your placements if you know where they are, because it gives you a fuller picture of what's going on for you. Each one will resonate differently, which is quite fascinating, I find. And this is a general, yeah, there's conflict around this. Someone's really pissed you off here with this, the Five of Swords. It's like, okay, yeah. They've acted quite selfishly or within their self-interests and haven't considered anybody else's needs, let alone yours. So, yeah, it feels like, what were you thinking when you did that kind of thing? Like, you clearly weren't thinking about anybody else. You're just thinking about yourself. So that's kind of the energy. There's a fallout from a conflict or a situation or something somebody said here. So, yeah, this is a general reading. Scorpio, just take what feels right. Leave the rest. Trust your intuition, as I know you always do. And if you would like to explore it further, if it does really resonate, there will be an extended reading, and the link for that is in the description box below. My Patreon channel is hosting the extendeds. So, yep, you can sign in, and for the price, the same price as just buying the extended individually, you can have access to, like, monthly access to all the content, premium content in the Patreon channel, so you can have a look around and see what's there. So let's see what else is coming through for you, Scorpio. The other thing, because the planets are being quite retrograde, the cards are coming out really super slow. So that's more of the gift of time, retrograde energy. It is a lot to do with revisiting, re-editing, reworking, restructuring. That sort of stuff is coming through. But it's very much a divine feminine of what's going on inside of you. So I feel like if there's this thing that you're like, right, I need to do something about this thing or this person in my life, then that's actually a good time to go within it and work through some stuff. So we've got the Five of Swords. And so as a result, the cards have been coming out slowly because we're kind of talking about retrograde energies. So let me just get the right frequency into the cards for you, Scorpio. Okay. Crossed by the Queen of Pentacles, yeah. So this conflict has created a situation that has destabilized something, which is why you're wanting to restabilize with the Pentacle Queen again. Death card, this is your major arcana, the Death card, the Five of Cups. Okay, it's been very disappointing. The Two of Swords, the Eight of Swords. Let me just move some cards out of the way, make some room for you here, Scorpio. We've got the Fool, okay. The Fool, the Six of Swords, the Justice card, and the Ten of Wands. Interesting, okay. The Three of Cups and the Knight of Cups. Fascinating. What's going on here? The King of Swords. I feel like you need to be like this King of Swords, emotionally detached from a situation here and just kind of, yeah, emotionally disengaged, detached, because it's right next to this Five of Cups. There's been something that's kind of either hurt you, upset you, disappointed you, and you kind of need to reset and restabilize, step into the new here. So the situation is, yeah, this Five of Swords, this is the person, you can see there's like stormy weather here. It represents a conflict in your life to do with the element of air. So communication, a news, a conversation, something somebody said and done definitely could upset you. This is where there's been a fallout and somebody's, got what they wanted, but these other people are walking away going, no. So it's very much a sense of somebody's, I feel like you are potentially one of these people just walking away, like emotionally detaching, going, if you're going to be like that, maybe I don't want much to do with you, or I don't want much to do with this situation. Crossed by the Queen of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles likes stability, likes to nurture stability, and whatever this person's done, it's like the cat amongst the pigeons. They've just something that has just destabilized either a group, a situation, or just within you. So that's like we want to get back to feeling like home base again, which is why we've got this sense in your conscious mind of the Death card, because this is the higher octave, the major arcana of Scorpio. This is Pluto, your planetary ruler, coming in. And Pluto can be, it can be kind of obsessive as well. So you just got to try not to obsess too much about this. It could become like a bit of a brooding, like I said, brooding, obsessive energy that comes through. So basically the Death card is about saying, I need to transform this situation. I need to kind of cull whatever's not working here and to be able to move on into the rebirth, the birth, death, rebirth. This is the phoenix rising. It's like, yes, something's been reduced to ashes here with the Five of Cups. We can see that these three cups have spilt over and this character's feeling quite sad about it. There is an opportunity to rebuild to these two cups. There's an opportunity to rebuild your feelings and your connections. It doesn't have to necessarily be with this person that's annoyed you here, but it could just be there's other people around that you are attracting that can make you feel good and that are doing the right things and all of that sort of stuff. So there's an opportunity to have perhaps a sort of supportive friend or lover or someone on standby that can actually, or just attract the right sort of people into your world. That's where we're seeing that there's this rebirth opportunity here to go, okay, this is very much the Venus in retrograde energy. And so, it feels like this is the ashes of the phoenix, the ashes, something's kind of, and this is where we see the sun rising. We're ready for the rebirth. So in the recent past, we've got the Two of Swords. You may have been already quite uncertain about this situation or this person and hesitant to be going into any kind of agreements or relationship or just doing whatever it is, a very hesitant energy about. So I think you've already got like a feeling that there's something not right there, or there's a lot of uncertainty about making decisions and choices around it. Perhaps maybe it's a hard one. Could be somebody that you're really close to, that you love. that can come through with it as well. It makes it harder to make that decision. But in the near future, that we've got the Eight of Swords, and it's a little bit like you can get stuck in that indecision for too long, and so you might feel a little bit like, okay, I'm feeling a bit frustrated and restricted and limited in the choices that are in front of me, or they're limited in my options. This is kind of limitations and limited forms of thinking. It might also be that this person around you has limited forms of thinking, and it's just like, okay, I don't want to be bound by your limited forms of thinking. So, I mean, these can be your own as well with the Aquarius energy. The King of Swords sometimes can be, that Aquarius energy can be where they get in somebody can get in a very fixed mindset about something. But the Fool card, this is you. You're like, I'm ready to reset this situation here. I'm ready to jump into something new. I'm very consciously aware of what's going on here, because you've got the Fool and then the Magician. So the Fool is that very initial, like, I just need to almost unconscious response to something or someone. And the Magician's when you're becoming much more consciously aware of the dynamic or what's going on with it, and then going, right, I need to work out how I'm going to what's around me that I can work with, what energies or resources or people I'm around that I can work with to make this situation better. How am I going to solve this? So yeah, and it may be that somebody's acted quite foolishly as well. So let's look at the energy surrounding you. You've got the Six of Swords. This is you. You're like, I'm moving on. I'm moving on from the drama here. So it could even be that somebody's moving on or somebody's leaving in a way, and that in itself might feel like it's selfish. So there's this energy of transitions, people moving on, people moving away. Whether this is you or somebody doing this to you, it's just very much like, okay, everything feels a little bit like it's in flux at this moment in time. But this is you, I think, wanting to move on from some drama and find a peace within the situation. So we have as your hopes and fears the Justice card. So this is actually wanting justice served. This has to be fair. If this person's acted really selfishly like this, or acted in a way that has caused harm to others, the Justice energy wants some kind of, like this could even be legalities, some kind of legal action that can come through with it, with the Justice. But this is like a contractual agreement of some sort. Perhaps a contractual agreement has to be, this is around a contractual agreement, the conflict. Perhaps that's what's coming through around it. It's about contracts in your life. So let's have a look at the outcome, though. We've got the Ten of Wands, the Three of Cups, and the Knight of Cups. You're going to be working really, really hard to get a win here, to get a victory, to celebrate. So because you're moving forward with the Knight of Cups, going, I'm moving forward, I'm connecting to the people and attracting the people or person that feels right to me, that brings me joy, that feel like my people. This person isn't. This person's done something that's been very, very clear they're not your person, or that they've done something that perhaps needs to be repatterned and brought to attention. And the Ten of Wands is saying, I'm dedicating myself to the new people that bring me joy and happiness that I want to connect to here. And so it's, very much like finding your people here. This Knight of Cups is about to cross into a new threshold, cross the river. And it's kind of interesting because we're seeing here with the Five of Cups, the river's there, the bridge over the river is there to these new cups. And there it's like finding new people, finding new emotional connections, crossing that river, finding that place of healing, emotional healing, and finding perhaps if you're looking for new love, or this is related to hopes and dreams, it's like letting go of something that's been very disappointing and made you happy, and leaving it behind, letting the past go, and walking into a new future here, or new relationships or new emotional energy. So it feels like very much like it's important to do that. An emotional reset is come through. So this is where we've got the King of Swords coming in. So the King of Swords is very much the element of air. It's an Aquarius energy. So it probably starts with this Aquarius full moon, some of the clarity around that. But this is the King of Swords is very emotionally detached, is emotionally detaching from a situation here. And actually logically looking at it and going, you know what? if I logically look at it, I have a very different perspective. How I'm emotionally responding to it is different. But if I can take a step back and go, okay, my feelings aren't necessarily the facts here. But if I look at the facts, yes, I've been upset. But what can I do about it? What's the next, rather than an emotional response, what's the rational or logical response? Yeah, I think this energy of distancing yourself and emotionally detaching is going to be really important. So I think this has got a lot to do with the South Node moving into Libra, where it's very much showing you what's sort of people or emotional patternings are around, combined with Venus retrograde, which is showing you what you value, who you value, and what you want to attract into your world. And it's probably becoming really clear what you don't want as well. And so this is where you kind of might get a little bit of, the words I'm getting is time's up. Time's up with a person in your life where you're like, no, I'm not doing that anymore. It feels very much like that. Or time's up with this relationship. If they're moving away from you, it's like the karma between the two of you is up, is over. What it is that you had to learn from each other is finished, and so it's like they're moving away, or you're moving away from them. So I think it's this sense of you're moving away from, some people are moving away, or you're moving away from them, but then you're moving towards new people and new fated connections and new people you're ready to open up your heart to, and crossing into those new thresholds where there is the sense that there's a rebuilding of new relationships, new emotions, new emotional patternings that are coming through. So this is your affirmation card. It's only a thought, and a thought can be changed. I'm not limited by any past thinking. I choose my thoughts with care. I constantly have new insights and new ways of looking at my world. I'm willing to change and grow. So yeah, I think that's pretty apt for what we've just been talking about and what we're seeing in the reading. So let's see what is coming through for a charm for Scorpio. We have, the money. Show me the money. Okay. It could be very much, these could be work relationships or relationships around people and money connected, the two of them. Money is about value, your self-worth, your value. So it is very much Venus, the money coming in. Venus rules love, Venus rules money, those things that brings value to your world. And so it is all about what you value, who you value, how you feel valued, and how I feel like you're making some big shifts, becoming more consciously aware of some of those dynamics and making some big shifts and changes. And once you become aware of the dynamic, that's when suddenly, it used to maybe trigger you and piss you off. Maybe when you become more aware of it, or something shifts inside your mind, you can kind of go, okay, I'm a bit more detached from that, and it doesn't need to emotionally affect me anymore. So I feel like it potentially, you might be noticing some big shifts and changes in just the people around you coming and going for a start, and also how you're responding to them. So this could be somebody that's in your life, like say it's a family member, and maybe that suddenly you're getting this new insight and perspective around a pattern that you go, right, I don't need that anymore. I'm getting that they're not validating me through some sort of pattern. That's fine. That's your thing. And I've got mine. I can do my own self-validation and attract the people that do bring me validation into my world. And I do feel valued, and I value. So I feel like, that's kind of the energy you're working with, Scorpio. So I'm going to take it over to the extended reading now. We're going to see what's happening, because there is this beautiful energy of that Knight of Cups is about to cross the river. Follow your intuition, follow your heart, stepping into new emotional terrains, new emotional thresholds, releasing a lot of stuff inside your mind that kind of potentially has stopped you from doing that in the past, releasing people. So let's just see where this is all going in the near future, the future beyond, any kind of further messages you need to hear about working with this energy, or anything coming in that you need to know about, as well as any further clarification. So that's all in the extended reading. Would love it if you come over. The link is in the description box below. And like I said, my Patreon channel is hosting that. And I usually pin the link to the comments as well. And please like, subscribe, share, leave a comment, Scorpio. Love to read your comments, and take care.